Log entry 74, 92 Epsilon. Researcher. Krell Vox'narim. Galactic Research Collective, Xenological Threat Assessment. When the collective assigned me to document human technological development, I expected a routine survey of a nascent species. What I discovered instead defies every known principle of sentient technological progression. Humans are not simply another civilization. They are a walking, breathing, psychological experiment that somehow learned to weaponize curiosity, creativity, and cruelty into a singular, terrifying art form. Most species develop weapons as a practical response to survival needs: territorial protection, resource defense, conflict mitigation. Humans? They invented entire technological branches dedicated to causing suffering with such meticulous precision that it transcends traditional military strategy and enters the realm of pure, unadulterated psychological art. Consider this fundamental anomaly. Humans don't just create tools of destruction. They create tools of destruction that demonstrate an almost poetic understanding of biomechanical limits, psychological endurance, and the extraordinarily thin line between scientific inquiry and sadistic exploration. My preliminary research has uncovered a disturbing pattern. Where other species see technological development as a linear progression of survival capabilities, humans view technology as an infinite playground of possibility. Their weapons aren't just instruments of conflict, they're complex expressions of an species-wide psychological landscape that oscillates between profound empathy and calculated cruelty. The most unsettling revelation? This isn't malevolence, this is curiosity. Unbridled, unfiltered, monumentally dangerous curiosity. Our initial threat assessment categorized humans as a developing species, a bureaucratic euphemism that I now understand is the most catastrophic understatement in galactic diplomatic history. Humans are not developing, they are relentlessly experimenting, pushing every conceivable boundary of technological and psychological potential. What follows in this report is not just a documentation of weapons, it is a case study of a species that views technological innovation as an art form, with pain and possibility as its primary mediums of expression. May the collective have mercy on us all. Researchers' preliminary notation. Extreme caution advised. Do not engage directly. Observation only. Krell Vox'narim, lead xenological investigator. Continuing research log 74, 92 Epsilon. If technological progression were a cosmic dance, humans would be the unhinged partner spinning wildly between brilliance and barbarism. Their historical weapon development isn't a timeline, it's a fever dream of human innovation. Let me illustrate. While most galactic civilizations developed progressive technological models, gradual improvements, ethical considerations, collective consensus, humans seem to approach weapon design like a deranged child building increasingly complex sandcastles, each more disturbing than the last. Take their medieval period. Most species were developing agricultural tools, basic shelter technologies, rudimentary medical practices. Humans? They were crafting devices that would make our most advanced interrogation algorithms look like children's puzzle games. The brazen bull, for instance. Invented by a Greek engineer named Perillaios in ancient times, this bronze sculpture was designed to slowly roast human beings alive. But here's the truly fascinating part. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a complex acoustic engineering project. The sculptor designed the bull's internal structure to convert human screams into what he considered musical sounds emerging from the bull's mouth. Let that sink in. While other species were developing communication technologies, humans were transforming human suffering into a perverse musical instrument. Their progression wasn't linear. It was a chaotic algorithm of creativity, where each technological leap seemed designed to explore the absolute limits of human endurance. The rack, a medieval torture device, wasn't just about physical pain. It was a precise biomechanical experiment in human joint displacement. Humans didn't just want to cause pain, they wanted to understand exactly how much tension the human skeletal structure could withstand before catastrophic failure. World War period saw an exponential acceleration of this twisted technological creativity. Chemical weapons, precision torture techniques, psychological warfare technologies. Each development was like watching a species simultaneously discover its most horrific and most brilliant potentials. By the 20th century, humans had transformed torture from a crude physical practice into a sophisticated psychological discipline. They didn't just hurt bodies. They systematically dismantled human psychological resilience with surgical precision. The most terrifying revelation? These weren't developments by a small, aberrant group. These were collective human achievements documented with the same clinical detachment one might use to describe a botanical research paper. Our research team's initial hypothesis was simple: document human weapon technologies. What we discovered was a species with an almost supernatural capacity to transform curiosity, creativity, and cruelty into technological innovation. Humans are not just a species. They are a walking, breathing case study in the most complex form of technological exploration the galaxy has ever witnessed. Continuing to observe, continuing to be terrified. Krell Vox'narim, lead theological investigator. Continuing research log 7492 Epsilon. If our previous sections demonstrated human technological capabilities, this section will illuminate the truly terrifying landscape of human psychological motivation. Spoiler alert, it's not for the faint of interdimensional consciousness. Our psychological evaluation team, a group of highly trained xenobiological analysts who have studied hundreds of galactic civilizations, nearly suffered collective neural breakdowns attempting to understand human weapon designers. These aren't monsters, they're scientists, researchers, people who view extreme technological exploration with the same enthusiasm most species reserve for discovering new star systems. Take Dr. Marcus Reiner, a contemporary weapons engineer I extensively studied. Imagine a human who discusses mechanical stress tolerances of bone structures with the same cheerful tone another might use when discussing weekend gardening plans. When our research team first interviewed him, he demonstrated a prototype device with the casual demeanor of someone explaining a new kitchen appliance. "It's not about the pain," Reiner explained, adjusting his glasses. "It's about understanding human physiological limits. Every design is a question. How far can human resilience be tested? What are the precise biomechanical breaking points?" This wasn't sadism. This was pure, unadulterated scientific curiosity. Our psychological profile revealed a disturbing pattern. Human weapon designers weren't motivated by traditional concepts of warfare or destruction. They were driven by an almost theological dedication to understanding complexity. Each device represented not just a weapon, but a research project. A philosophical inquiry into human endurance. Diversi. Elena Rodriguez, another researcher in our case study, once published a 247-page dissertation analyzing shoulder joint stress under sustained tension, not as a torture manual, but as a pure biomechanical exploration. When questioned about the ethical implications, she would quote something humans call dark humor, a communication method that transforms horror into intellectual comedy. "If you can solve a problem," she'd say with a sardonic smile, "design a machine that makes the problem wish it never existed." The most terrifying revelation? This psychological approach wasn't unique. It was a widespread human trait. The same intellectual curiosity that would later send humans to lunar surfaces, decode genetic structures, and develop life-saving medical technologies was the exact mechanism driving their most disturbing technological innovation. Humans don't just create. They deconstruct. They analyze. They push every conceivable boundary of possibility, moral, technological, psychological, with a relentless dedication that defies conventional understanding. Our recommendation to the Galactic Research Collective remains unchanged. Observe, respect, but never under any circumstances engage directly. Humans are not a species. They are a continuous, unpredictable experiment in technological and psychological exploration. Continuing to observe, continuing to be simultaneously impressed and terrified. Krell Vox'narim, lead xenological investigator. Continuing Research Log 7492, Epsilon. If our previous sections established the theoretical framework of human technological creativity, this section delves into the practical manifestations. Brace yourselves. What follows is not for the psychologically fragile. Case Study 1. The Strappado. Invented during human medieval periods, the Strappado represents a quantum leap in understanding human biomechanical limitations. Picture a device so ingeniously cruel that our initial research team required mandatory psychological counseling after its first comprehensive review. The mechanism is deceptively simple. Bind a human's hands behind their back, then suspend them by those same bound limbs. The result? A methodical, precise dislocation of shoulder joints that transforms human anatomy into a living stress test laboratory. But humans didn't just create the device. They documented it. With scientific precision that would make our most advanced research algorithms look like primitive sketch notes. Dr. Helena Weaver, a contemporary biomechanical researcher, spent 3 years analyzing the Strappado's physiological impact. Her 412-page report wasn't a torture manual. It was a comprehensive exploration of human structural integrity under extreme stress conditions. It's not about pain, she would explain, echoing her colleagues' eerily consistent perspective. It's about understanding the absolute limits of human physiological adaptation. Case Study 2. Water torture techniques. Most species would view controlled drowning as a simple interrogation method. Humans transformed it into a mathematical exploration of respiratory and psychological endurance. Their documentation isn't just a set of instructions, it's a multi-layered analysis of human psychological breaking points, respiratory function under stress, and the precise mathematical algorithms of human willpower disintegration. One particularly disturbing report from a 20th century military research unit broke down water torture into 17 distinct psychological stages, complete with biochemical stress marker measurements, neurological response tracking, and potential long-term psychological impacts assessments. They didn't just want information, they wanted to understand the exact moment human psychological resilience fractures. Case Study 3. The Judas Cradle. While most civilizations were developing agricultural technologies, humans were engineering the Judas Cradle, a pointed pyramid device designed for prolonged, strategic, physical, and psychological torment. The device wasn't just a punishment tool, it was a precisely calculated exploration of human pain tolerance, weight distribution mechanics, and psychological endurance. Dr. Marcus Riener's analysis revealed something even more terrifying. The device's design incorporated complex mathematical principles of weight distribution, potential energy transfer, and biomechanical stress points. It's applied physics, Reiner would explain, as if discussing a particularly interesting mathematical theorem, a living experiment in human structural limitations. Conclusion of case studies. These are not anomalies, they are consistent expressions of a species-wide approach to technological exploration. Where other civilizations see boundaries, humans see opportunities for investigation. Our recommendation remains unchanged. Observe, respect, but never under any circumstances engage directly. Humans are not just a species, they are a continuous, unpredictable experiment in pushing the boundaries of technological and psychological possibility. Continuing to observe, continuing to be terrified? Krell Vox'narim, Lead Xenological Investigator. Continuing Research Log 7492 Epsilon. Our research team's psychological evaluation of human technological creativity progressed through what can only be described as the 5 stages of galactic xenological comprehension. 1. Initial shock. 2. Profound confusion. 3. Reluctant admiration. 4. Existential terror. 5. Resigned acceptance. Let me be explicitly clear. Humans are not simply another species to be catalogued. They are a walking, breathing existential paradox that defies every known principle of technological and psychological development. The theoretical implications of our research extend far beyond simple weapon technology. We are witnessing a species that doesn't just create tools, They create entire philosophical frameworks of technological exploration. Consider the broader context. The same minds that designed intricate torture devices also developed microsurgical techniques that save millions of lives, vaccines that eradicate global diseases, technologies that explore the depths of space and the intricacies of genetic structures. Our lead xenopsychologist, Dr. Zara Kalaks, summarized our collective findings in what became known as the human paradox theorem. Humans do not see technology as a linear progression of capabilities. They view it as an infinite playground of possibility, where moral boundaries are less important than the pure, unbridled potential of human creativity. The most terrifying revelation? This isn't a bug in their species' psychological makeup, it's a feature. Our research team began to understand that human technological development isn't about creating weapons. It's about exploring the absolute limits of possibility. Pain, creativity, destruction, and innovation exist in a complex ecosystem within human technological thinking. The Galactic Research Collective's initial threat assessment categorized humans as a developing species, a classification that now seems monumentally naive. Humans are not developing. They are relentlessly experimenting, pushing every conceivable boundary of technological and psychological potential. Our alien research teams experienced what can only be described as a collective existential crisis. How do you categorize a species that can design both concentration camps and life-saving medical technologies? A civilization that can create devices of extreme torture and then develop compassionate global humanitarian systems? The answer, we discovered, is that you don't. You simply observe, you respect, and you never, under any circumstances, engage directly. Humans are not just a species to be studied. They are a continuous, unpredictable experiment in the most complex form of technological and psychological exploration the galaxy has ever witnessed. Final recommendation to Galactic Research Collective: maintain maximum observational distance. Do not provoke. Prepare for anything. Continuing to observe. Continuing to be terrified. Krell Vox'narim, lead xenological investigator. Continuing research, log 74, 92 epsilon, minus final entry. After 47 solar cycles of intensive research, 3,692 documented case studies, and countless sleepless planetary rotations, our team has reached a conclusion that defies every known principle of galactic xenological understanding. Humans are not a species. They are a global experiment in pushing the absolute boundaries of technological and psychological possibility. Our initial mission was simple: document human weapon technologies. What we discovered was a civilization that transforms curiosity, creativity, and complexity into a form of technological poetry, so bizarre, so magnificently twisted, that it challenges the very foundations of our understanding of sentient development. The most profound revelation is not about their capacity for creating devices of destruction. It is about their unparalleled ability to simultaneously embody the most extreme contradictions of technological and moral exploration. Consider the archetypal human technological journey. They design concentration camps and then develop human rights frameworks. They create weapons of mass destruction and then pioneer global peace initiatives. They explore the most intricate methods of causing suffering and simultaneously develop technologies that alleviate human pain. This is not inconsistency, this is a species-wide approach to understanding the absolute limits of possibility. Our psychological team's final report can be summarized in one paradoxical statement: humans are simultaneously the most dangerous and most potentially transformative species in galactic history. They do not see technology as a tool, they see it as an infinite landscape of exploration, where moral boundaries are less important than the pure, unbridled potential of human creativity. The same minds that design the most intricate torture devices are the same minds that will likely solve our galaxy's most complex challenges. They will cure diseases we haven't imagined, solve environmental crises we cannot comprehend, and push technological boundaries beyond our most ambitious predictions. Recommendation to Galactic Research Collective: 1. Observe. 2. Respect. 3. Never, under any circumstances, engage directly. 4. Prepare for anything. Humans are not just a species to be studied. They are a continuous, unpredictable experiment in the most complex form of technological and psychological exploration the universe has ever witnessed. Final personal notation. May the cosmic algorithms have mercy on us all. Transmission ends. Krell Vox'narim, Lead Xenological Investigator, Galactic Research Collective,